Welcome to the Wisconsin Restaurant Association's annual awards celebration. Please turn your attention to the stage and welcome your president and chief executive officer, Ed Lump, who will offer tonight's invocation.
I don't think they could have a brighter light back there. Relax a little bit. Might take a minute or two. One thing, I'm always honored to do this, and one thing that always impresses me about this night is there just is a lot of love in the room here. There's a lot of reasons to come to this, and I think the camaraderie and the fellowship and the renewal of the industry is an important part of it. When we started the show at the keynote address on, I forgot already, it's Monday, Monday morning, we played a little video, which I hope most of you saw, and I was struck particularly by a remark made by our immediate past chairman, Lara Timke, where she said, I'm in this business, I love my customers, I love my employees, and I love this crazy business. And there were other speakers which had very good remarks to make as well. And two that I thought about the most were, there was a theme kind of, that said, well, I've been in the business for a long time. It's in my blood. It's in my family's blood. And another part of it is a restaurateur who had left the business for a few years and came back to the family business and said, you know, I'm home. I came home. And I think that's a common thread for a lot of people in this industry. It is a crazy business. And I think people love it because the craziness creates a challenge. And the solving of the challenge gives immense satisfaction. The kind of satisfaction that I don't think you get in many other things you do. The issue of employees can be frustrating, but the reward of watching them grow, knowing their families, learning perhaps where they came from and what their dreams are, and seeing some of those fulfilled is a reward beyond measure for many, many people in this industry. But finally, there's the love of customers. If you don't love customers, I don't think you can do this. They have their set of challenges also, but the reward may be financial profit, but I think people do it for the smile, for the applause. Whereas there's a play to the roar of the grease paint and the smell of the crowd. The performance value of putting out a meal, giving people comfort, helping people to relax, and seeing a smile on their face when it's all over, when they pay the bill. That, I think, is a reward that keeps everybody in this business for long periods of time. It is that smile that gives everyone a chance, I guess I would say, a feeling of blessing, a feeling of blessedness. It is truly a blessing, I believe, to be in this industry, to be called to serve others, to watch them grow, to deal with the challenges, to see the smile. So with that in mind, let's call ourselves in the presence of our Creator and give thanks for these blessings we have. Dear God, we thank you for bringing us together tonight and uniting us in this great industry, giving us an opportunity to serve others, give us an opportunity to make people happy. We ask you to bless us tonight at our table and join us at table, if you will, and help our conversation to be warm and friendly and remind us of how much you care for us. Bless this food, that it might might strengthen us for our continued service to you, which is our service to each other. And send us your Spirit to hover over us, to protect us and dwell within our hearts, that all who see us may see your love in our actions towards each other and all who we meet today and every day. Amen. I'm back. Maybe I'm back. If I could have your attention for one more minute. It's kind of hard to transition from that to this, but it's really a pleasure. So you give me a minute here. We'll talk a little about society insurance. As many of you know, I think all of you know, society insurance has been the endorsed property and casualty workers' comp carrier with this association for a long time. Over 30 years, but I think it's actually more like 32 years at least. Since 1983, right. And they've set the standard, we believe, for service to our industry. They've set a high bar, and they've been our friends, and we're proud to call them friends. And tonight, they're celebrating, by the way, right now, their 100th anniversary as a company. And if you've got a chance to look at the video they have available online and all of that, I think you'd be impressed with the core of that company, their goals, and where they have come from and where they are today. But I have the pleasure to welcome Dina Schultz, Society Insurance Vice President of Sales and Marketing, who is an outstanding individual, one of the nicest people I frankly have met. And she's going to offer, I believe, a toast in honor of that great company.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. That was very nice. So first, I want to say I'm proud to be a board member of the WRA. I've actually been a board member for about 1 year now, and I'm learning a lot about the restaurant industry, and I'm just really enjoying my time on the board. And I'm honored to speak to you this evening. And Society Insurance, as Ed said, the WRA's endorsed insurance carrier, appreciates the long-term relationship that we've had with the WRA. In fact, back in 1983, Society and WRA, we entered our relationship with a simple handshake, and that exists today. We don't have a contract. We just have a simple handshake. So there's a trusted partnership that exists there. And interestingly enough, Society has much in common with the WRA. As I reviewed the history and the mission of this association, the WRA was founded in 1933 to protect and promote the food service industry in Wisconsin. And so this organization is extremely important to its members as it provides support, education, communications, and access to a variety of suppliers and thousands of its members in the food industry. So, when we look at Society's mission, our company, it was founded in 1915. It operates and exists for the benefit of our policyholders, and we are all about protecting their dreams, their passions, and their livelihoods with tailor-made insurance solutions. So our commonality includes protecting the food service businesses that we work with. So some of you in our audience are actually policyholders, and we really appreciate your business. Thank you so much. If you haven't heard the buzz already, you heard it from Ed, and you should have seen it on all of our promotional materials. We turn 100 in 2015, and it's a privilege, not a given, to work in a company that's been in business for 100 years. So we're taking every opportunity we can to celebrate with our partners, our agents, association partners, policyholders. And hopefully you enjoyed the keynote speaker, Chef Richard Leis, yesterday. Thank you. And we're also pleased to sponsor the cocktail reception as well as the toast this evening. And As mentioned earlier, thank you. As mentioned earlier, we are extremely proud to be exclusively endorsed by the WRA, and we look forward to a continued partnership. Just to ask anyone at Society, we love restaurants, we love food, we love the hospitality industry, and we're proud to serve you. We care about you, and we're dedicated to protecting your business, your dreams, and your livelihoods. So with that, let's grab a glass of champagne or water, wine. So are we all ready? Society Insurance would like to toast you, our friends, to honor our shared past and celebrate our bright future. Cheers to you and to the next 100 years. Cheers.
Please welcome your Wisconsin Restaurant Association Chairman of the Board, Steve Schilling from Zazing in North Prairie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank our 2015 Midwest Food Service Expo Chair, Dennis Heidi from Eau Claire, for doing a great job on the show this year. Dennis, are you with us here? We have a plaque here for Dennis. It says, in appreciation of Dennis, the chair of the 2015 Midwest Food Service Expo, for your service, dedication, and commitment to the Wisconsin Restaurant Association, we're pleased to present you this plaque. Thank you, Dennis. Great job on the show.
Thank you, Steve. Has everybody loved the show this year with all the changes? All right. I'd like to thank the WRA and the WRA Education Foundation Board and all the volunteers in making this year's Food Service Expo such a success. The folks have worked so hard. Why don't we give them a big round of applause for their successes? Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you again, Dennis. Next, I'd like to recognize those individuals who have given 10 years of service to the WRA Board of Directors. I'd like to present Larry Deutsch from the Vollrath Company, a very special 10-year pin for 10 years of service, along with the retiring director's plaque. Larry?
Congratulations, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was told.
Thank you. I would also like to present Ada Lara Timke from Lara's Tortilla Flats in Oshkosh with the WRA Board 10-year service pin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ada, for your terrific service. And finally, I present Chico Pope from the Buckhorn Supper Club in Milton, Wisconsin. A special 10-year pin for service to the WRA Board of Directors. Oh, wait. You got a picture?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Picture? My buddy Steve.
All right, my baster boy.
And a really big thank you to Larry, Ada, and Chico. Now please welcome Mike Tsuchihashi from Atlas Barbecue in Grafton, your WRA Education Foundation Chairman of the Board.
Thank you. I would like to call your attention to the award dinner program. Recognized here are sponsors of the WRA and its Education Foundation. These generous sponsors are vital to our organization and industry. They show their dedication by supporting our ongoing mission and promoting education, professionalism, and the advancement of Wisconsin food service industry. We would like to recognize and thank all of our sponsors listed. You are very important to us. Now, please turn your attention to the screen to thank those sponsors that are able to support us at the $10,000 and above level.
Here are the WRA $10,000 and above supporters in alphabetical order. Please hold your applause until the entire list is read. EWH, Small Business Accounting. Gordon Food Service. Lakefront Brewery and Leinenkugels. Reinhardt Food Service. Society Insurance. And Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. Let's give our WRA supporters a big round of applause. And now, here are the WRA Education Foundation $10,000 and above supporters. Calver's VIP Foundation. Marcus Hotels and Resorts. Society Insurance. Torke Coffee Roasting Company. U.S. Foods, and Wisconsin Wine and Spirits Institute. Let's give our Education Foundation supporters a big round of applause.
And now, these are the sponsors who have made tonight's event possible.
Tonight's gold level sponsors are Heartland Payment Systems and Society Insurance. The silver level sponsors are Fork in the Road, the Vollrath Company, Reinhardt Food Services, Milwaukee, Shawano, and La Crosse for tonight's Center of the Plate donation. And Badger Liquor for tonight's wine donation. The bronze level sponsors are Marcus Hotel and Resorts with double bronze level sponsorship. Calver Franchising System Incorporated. EWH Small Business Accounting. WRA Milwaukee Chapter. And WRA West Wisconsin Chapter. Many of your tables tonight are also sponsored by Friends of the Education Foundation, including Baker Tilly, Breakbush Brothers, DeRosa Restaurants, Gordon Fields Services, Rocky Rococo Restaurants, That's Amore Italian Cafe, the WRA Big Four Chapter, the WRA Lacrosse Chapter, WRA Madison Chapter, WRA Wisconsin River Valley Chapter. Thank you, each and every one of you. We couldn't do it without you.
The Chapter WRA Award is bestowed upon the honoree by his or her peers. It is awarded for outstanding dedication and accomplishment in the food service industry and for outstanding contributions made as active members of their communities and the Wisconsin Restaurant Association.
Unable to be here tonight, from the Wisconsin River Valley Chapter, Charlie Gray from Calver's of Wausau. From the West Wisconsin Chapter, Gerry Gadke from Orange Moose Bar and Grill in Black River Falls. Thank you, Gerry.
All right, sounds good.
From the Milwaukee Chapter, Dennis Stevens from Fork in the Road in McWanago. Thank you, Dennis.
Stick around, we're going to get a group shot of it.
From the Lacrosse Chapter, Larry and Barb Leis from Red Pines Bar and Grill in Onalaska. Thank you, Barb and Larry. Unable to be here tonight, Aaron Wolf from Comfort Suites and 1951 West in Green Bay. From the Big Four Chapter, Maggie Calver from Calver's of Little Chute. Thank you, Maggie. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show our appreciation for the 2015 Chapter Outstanding Restaurateurs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Steve Davis from Artie and Ed's Drive-In in Oshkosh. Steve is a past State Restaurateur of the Year recipient, past WRA and WRA Education Foundation Chairman, and a member of the WRA Awards Committee.
Okay. Thank you. The 8th Annual Chapter Hero Award is being presented to Joe Jinsky, Senior Marketing Associate with Sysco Foods of Baraboo, in recognition of his commitment to the Wisconsin River Valley Chapter and in acknowledgement of the important roles that chapters play in the WRA's success. His successful fundraising efforts through the annual golf outing have broadened the scope of the chapter's mission and activities. He has helped encourage the involvement of others and has consistently promoted the WRA. Congratulations, Joe.
Joe, would you please come forward and join Steve on the stage?
Couple of words. I have a couple of words. Good.
Good evening. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for this award. I am very proud and very appreciative to be honored tonight. I know for a fact that other board members throughout the chapters, throughout the state, are very deserving as well. And there's a lot of people that do a lot of work in each chapter. So to those of you, I would like a round of applause because I am not the only one going above and beyond by all means. I would also like to thank our local WRA chapter, the Wisconsin Valley chapter, for nominating me. This is not a individual award, I am convinced. Everybody helps a ton when it comes to our golf outing, when it comes to our boat outing, and when it comes to everything that we do. But first and foremost, I would like to thank my beautiful wife, Pam, for allowing me the time and the commitment throughout the year, and our two little guys, Oliver and Augie, for understanding when Dad's not there to build choo-choo tracks and read stories and put them to bed. The fundraising does take some time, and everybody's been very understanding. But like I said before, with the Wisconsin River Valley chapter, it is a team effort, and I'd personally like to thank a lot of people over the past 3 years that have helped with our fundraising for the golf outing. And those people are Charlie Gray, our Oroy of the year, Lisa Metz, Dale and Pat Leffel, Eric Freund, Don Thompson, Kevin Miller, Tim Kimball, and most of all, Roy Heilemeyer, who owns 2510, our past president. Roy's been a co-chair with me on the golf outing and has done a great job helping me with everything, and I couldn't do everything without Roy. Again, this business, this industry, to say it has a special place in my heart would be an understatement. I come from the vendor side and not the restaurateur side, so I don't know all the pains and all the heartaches that all of you do, but since I was old enough to have my parents sign for a work permit when I was 14, I've worked in this business. I worked in the restaurants in the back of the house until I was old enough to bartend at age 18. And at 20, I took a job as a front of the house manager for a friend of mine in his restaurant in Wisconsin Rapids. And at 23, I went to work at Baraboo Sysco. Quickly to finish up, over the past 18 years of working with many restaurateurs throughout the state in a various number of capacities, one thing that gets me to jump out of bed in the morning and go to work is getting to work with all of you, the private businesses, the restaurateurs, the supper clubs. I am truly humbled each day that all of you that I work with have entrusted your business with me, and that you've taken the time to get to know me and my family, And in many cases, you view me as a true partner and a viable asset in your business. You as restaurateurs across the great state of Wisconsin, the sacrifices that you make, the hours that you work, the dedication that you have to your business and your staff, and what you have hanging in the balance based on your success, you have my unwavering loyalty, my respect, and my admiration. You're a special, special group of people. I want to thank you all for what you've given me over the past 2 decades. And again, thank you for this award. I very, very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joe.
Now it's my pleasure, along with the Wisconsin Restaurant Association, to present the 2015 Award of Merit to Bob and Deb Davis of Davis & Associates in Muskego. For more than 2 decades, the Davises have embodied the passion and the hard work that characterize this industry. In acknowledgement of their many contributions to the food service industry in Wisconsin, in recognition of their generosity and willingness to offer both their time and treasure to the WRA and the WRA Education Foundation through their board involvement, in admiration of their company's impressive expansion from the original location in their basement to their current 4,500 square foot facility in Muskego, in appreciation of their long-standing commitment to the success of the Midwest Food Service Expo, in respect of their long history of providing excellent customer service and their role as ambassadors between customers and manufacturers, in gratitude for their belief in the importance of education as shown by their dedication to training and embracing changing technology, in thanks for their commitment to the WRA and the food service industry, we'd like to congratulate Bob and Deb Davis.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
When we received the letter from Madison, I opened it up and I went, wow. And that hasn't changed. Bob and I are honored and we are privileged. This is a phenomenal industry to be in. Everyone out there that is part of this organization, your service to the industry and to community and to people doesn't surpass by anyone else. And we are so honored and blessed each and every day that we can work with you and we can call you not only peers in the industry, but we can call you friends and extended family. So thank you very, very much for this award.
Congratulations, Bob and Deb. Well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage the chair of the Education Foundation Awards Dinner Committee, Steve Davis.
Fabulous food and incredible service is what we all strive to provide. A special thanks to WRA board member Ed Corella, tonight's banquet captain, Rosa, event manager, Murat, and to the entire Hilton staff for a great job.
Thank you for an outstanding meal and wonderful service. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screens for an important message from your 2014 Wisconsin Restaurant Association Chairman of the Board, Ada Timke.
Hello, welcome. Good evening, amigos. My name is Adalada Timke, and I own Lada's Tortilla Flats in Oshkosh. As the immediate past chair of the Restaurant Association, it has been a true honor and a real pleasure to be the first Latina and the third chairwoman of this great organization of ours. On January 5th, 1975, my sister and I opened doors to the first Mexican restaurant in the Fox Valley. I was 25 years old and had come to Wisconsin from San Diego to visit my older sister, and obviously stayed. My sister and I were so excited as soon as we opened our doors, and we found out how naive we were as well. When our first customer walked in, we greeted him at the door, walked him over to a table, and presented him with a gift. He looked puzzled and began to look around the small restaurant. He looked at the menu and asked with all sincerity, "What is a taco?" Both my sister and I looked at each other in shock and immediately thought exactly at the same time, "Oh crap, we're in trouble." And trouble is nothing compared to what was in store for us. Never in a million years did we realize what we were up against. Not only was a taco unheard of, neither my sister nor I knew anything about the business, much less the restaurant business. Neither one of us had even worked in a restaurant, much less know the ins and outs of it. The fact that we loved to cook did not matter. Fact was, we didn't know anything about the restaurant business. In short, we were blind as bats and obviously very naive, perhaps even ignorant. We desperately needed help for the shock to wear off and sleep. We were so involved with the everyday operations of the restaurant that we hadn't done anything about the finances. We had left that to friends who were in accounting, and all we did was sign checks left and right. That March, we received some very bad news. We were told we had $41 in the bank and all sorts of bills. After having a good cry and everyone advising us to close the doors, we decided we were not going to give up. We were not going to let our parents down, since we had promised them that we were going to make it and do well. Our next move was the best move we ever made. We called each of the purveyors we dealt with and told them our story, the whole ugly truth. To this day, I cannot believe that every single one of them agreed to work with us, and we were on our way. We also visited all the great schools and gave kids lots of food, as well as knowledge about Mexico, our food, our culture, our customs. They were receptive, eager to learn, and they brought their parents to the restaurant to experience Mexican food. Slowly, we built our business, and we finally found equilibrium. And finally, we joined the WRA. 5 years later, my sister moved away, and there I was, all alone to run the restaurant. I was terrified, and I cried for quite a while, but I had learned to love this crazy business. Slowly, I built the business up. In 1988, we moved to our current location, and I have been in business for 40 years. Now, after all my ups and downs, I am looking towards retirement. As I look back on my life and think where I'd be if I had not come to Wisconsin that early summer in 1975, I shudder. I would not have had the pleasure of enjoying this crazy, wonderful business. But most importantly, I would have not met my husband, met all of you wonderful folks, and I would not have had the honor to be chairwoman of the WRA. I could not have been more blessed in my life. As for my chairmanship, it was short but very, very sweet. 2014 was a year of change for the WRA. During my 9 months as chair, I enjoyed being part of some significant changes that, in my opinion, have enhanced the association and made it greater and even stronger. The first change took place immediately last March, the month I started my tenure. The board of directors had been working towards updating our bylaws, and the final approval came in March of 2014. Some of the changes were minor, such as a change of a word or a phrase. It is with great pride that I can say I was part of changing our annual trade show name from the Wisconsin Restaurant Expo to the Midwest Food Service Expo. 2014 marked the first time the name reflected this larger scope. Every year, our expo keeps getting bigger, better, stronger, all because of members like you. We offer all show attendees an opportunity to get to see the newest and latest products and trends, attend educational seminars, come to the WRA booth and get all their questions answered, attend the keynote speech where we always have top-notch speakers, and most importantly, become connected with people who are going through exactly the same thing that you are going through. It is also fun to just walk around and see our ProStart students, our industry's next leaders, competing, taking pride in showing off their skills, and experiencing the Midwest Food Service Expo. Lastly, I am happy to announce that during my term as chairwoman, I was able to form task forces, including one to see how we can grow our membership and get more restaurateurs involved in the chapter level. We had dynamite people participating in these discussions, and we came up with best practices and recommendations and sent them to chapter leaders to discuss with chapter members. That is why it is so important to get involved, to be part of the change you want to see take place. Your involvement affects you, your business, your community, and it's all for the better. I personally am so happy and so thrilled that I got involved with the WRA and to have had the honor to have served as your chair. Que Dios los bendiga. May God bless you.
Thank you, Ada, for your outstanding leadership in 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage your 2015 WRA Chairman of the Board, Steve Schilling.
Thank you. Sounds like the pressure's on. Ada, thank you for all the positive energy you brought to WRA. We certainly wish you the best of luck in the next chapter of your life. I know you're going to be moving out of state, and we're going to miss you a lot. I'd also like to just take a minute and say thank you to Tom Sachs. 4 years ago, he was kind enough to appoint me to the executive committee, and after working my way up through their normal progression, here I am as the chairman. So thank you, Tom. I appreciate the confidence that you had in me, and I'll try to live up to your expectations. I'm kind of excited to be the chairman, a little bit on the nervous side. Well, I have some tough acts to follow. Ada didn't, she did a lot of things in her term. The WRA has a long history of accomplishment, whether it's taking on big projects like mandatory sick leaves or smoking bans or protecting our tip credits during minimum wage negotiations, and certainly a host of other maybe smaller projects, but when you add them all up together, they're really big projects. They do all this by developing and maintaining positive relationships with legislators, regulatory agencies, to ensure that when laws are passed that affect our industry or changes are made to food codes, that those changes are necessary, sensible, and manageable for all of us in the industry. Some might think we've been real lucky to have as many wins as we've had at WRA. I've always found that good luck resides at the intersection of thorough planning and impeccable execution. So I'd like to take a minute to recognize the staff at WRA that really carries the ball. Obviously, first of all, Ed Lump for the great team building that he has done in this organization. And second, to a great staff. They take ownership, they share pride in their accomplishments, and on the rare occasions that things maybe don't go quite right, they take responsibility. So I'd like, if we could, to have the staff of WRA stand and just be recognized here. You guys are doing great work. Thank you. So I didn't prepare a long speech tonight. In fact, I didn't really prepare a speech tonight. I know. Is that Gerry Rudy applauding back there? Yes, it was you. He told me if I talk too long, boy, I'd be in trouble. But I do have a little request, and I hope it's okay to do this evening. Most of you are aware that this coming year will probably minimum wage will take center stage as one of the issues that we have to address at WRA, and all of us will have to address in our businesses. Unfortunately, there's been a number of protests, people wanting, $15 an hour, and the media has picked up on these protests, and it unfortunately portrays our industry as kind of a low-wage and dead-end job industry. And that paints a pretty big, bleak picture for prospective job applicants. The National Restaurant Association, and certainly our Wisconsin Restaurant Association as well, are currently undertaking an initiative to put a more positive spin on careers in the industry. If you've attended like your basic training in crisis management, you know that negative press is always magnified by the lack of factual information. So what I'm asking is for you to take a few minutes and tell your success stories. And as I look around the room, I see many, many people here who began at entry-level jobs and worked their way up and are enjoying the success they've had today because of their hard work, but also because of career opportunities afforded by the restaurant industry itself. If you could take 5 minutes and go to the National Restaurant Association website. It's called americaworkshere.org. And they have a place where you could just take a minute and write a paragraph about your career path, how you got started and how you got to where you're at today. It takes 5 minutes or less, but it would help them to accumulate a lot of success stories that at the appropriate time could be released to the media and the public and put a very positive spin on careers in the industry. And since we've all been beneficiaries of those careers, you know, I was hoping that we'd take that 5 minutes. So that's my talk for tonight. So. Short enough, Gerry? So I do have one little last piece of business here, and that's to just thank my wife, Mary, for being Mary. We have a pretty small business, so on frequent occasions, I guess she has to go to the store and pick up a little of this or a little of that. So she's created a name for her job, and it's the company Gopher. But I got to tell you, she's far more than the gopher in my life. She's my confidant, my inspiration, my chief support, and for 47 years, the love of my life. So thank you, Mary. And thank you all. And now the best part's coming up.
Thank you, Steve. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. Please welcome last year's Restaurateur of the Year, Trey Hester from Rocky Rococo Restaurants.
So a year ago today was a very exciting day because I got that trophy. Today is a very sad day because I have to give that trophy back. But the next individual who's in line for this is very, very deserving of it. The Restaurateur of the Year is selected by the winner's peers, making it a very special award. Past Roy Award recipients consider 3 criteria when making this selection. First, participation and service to the food service industry and the Wisconsin Restaurant Association. Second, success within the recipient's own food service operation. And finally, participation in community and civic activities. Our 2015 Restaurateur of the Year exemplifies all of these qualities that a Roy should have. His loyal customers rave about generous portions, outstanding service, and a very welcoming bar area. Like many in our industry, our Roy has played numerous roles in this industry like manager and owner-operator. Our 2015 Roy has traveled to Washington, D.C. as part of the Wisconsin delegation for the National Restaurant Association Public Affairs Conference and has been an active advocate of our industry. Has been affiliated with the Wisconsin Restaurant Association since 1988, is active on the WRA State Board of Directors, and has chaired several of our committees. Education is a priority for our Roy, who is very passionate about the WRA Education Foundation's programs for young people. His leadership has been key in raising money for the ProStart Endowment Fund. He has a sincere interest in politics and has spoken on issues impacting the restaurant industry at both the state and our national capital. He has earned the respect of his local elected officials by being a straight shooter and telling it like it is. This is where you get to where you start figuring it out. His businesses are active in the communities where they are located, and our Roy is involved in the Elks, Lions, and Rotary clubs. He got his start in the industry when he purchased a tavern at the tender age of 21. After a stint in law enforcement, he operated a convenience store. Then he went on to manage an area golf and country club. Over 25 years ago, he's starting to figure it out. His friends convinced him to buy a local supper club, convinced him that buying his local supper club would be a good idea. Luckily, he was able to secure a bank loan with just $1,000 down and became the official owner on April Fool's Day. He's created a positive work environment at all of his locations he's owned and has been rewarded for that by retaining dedicated employees for many years. A former chairman of the WRA board, he remains an active participant and serves as treasurer of the Education Foundation Board. He has much to be proud of. His 2 grown sons, bowling a 300 game, and truly revitalizing his chapter up in the Eau Claire area. His work in the chapter has included developing current and future leaders. Our Roy never shies away from hard work and is known for having a heart of gold. It is my pleasure to announce our 2015 Restaurateur of the Year. From Connell's Restaurants in Eau Claire, Lynn McDonough.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is amazing. You know? Last year I got up here to give away a speech. I couldn't talk. Where's my friend Larry? He saved me last year. He went and got me a glass of water and a glass of whiskey, which helped, you know. But I got to get stronger, and I got the tears to do this all the time. I mean, it's tough on me. I cry over Little House on the Prairie, you know. So, and to get this award, it's absolutely amazing, you know. You know, we started out here, like he said, my whole history, started out with one restaurant. I ended up having 8 restaurants over that first $1,000, you know. Actually, the son of the owner that I bought my first one from, was at Grizzlies the other day, and he was sitting next to me, and he said, "You're Lynn, right?" And I said, "Yup." He said, "You bought a motorcycle from me." I give it to you. He said, "I'd like to get that back." Of course, my brother still had it, so I'm going to find it and give it back to him. But anyway, he said, "You took this over April Fool's Day of 1988. Yup. He said, "That was no joke. It was great." He said, "My dad appreciated it. We did well, and we've changed it, you know." And I've had managing with me, who's here today, with me tonight. Hang on, I'll get through this. I always tell everybody, when I first bought the restaurant, I had a lady right now, we can still call her today. She's only 84 years old, and she'd been cooking there for 48 years. So we get pretty good attention. I still have the first bartender I hired, the first manager, which is Neil Wellner, which is back here, in 1990 to run that. And then I hired my second manager to run the second restaurant, Caroline, which is here. And I have my head chef that's been here at one of the restaurants that's been here for 15, 16, we couldn't even figure it out time. We were talking about earlier. But it's all been, you know, I've got dedicated employees, and that's what actually, there we go. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, well, I better have one of the other one, too. There, now maybe I can do this. They got all these papers up here. I don't get to have these papers to do this. Okay, anyway, well, it's been super, you know, the society, some restaurants did good, some of them did bad. It was a great experience. I still have people walk up to me today and say, "Hi, Lynn." "Hi, Lynn." You know, I look at them. "Are you?" "Yeah, I used to be your employee." You know? Yeah, and it's, you know, it's fantastic. This business does so much for people to get involved with people, meet people, and you got customers that just love us, you know. We have an old-fashioned restaurant, supper club. We're trying to keep that restaurant chain going not chains. Chains are good too, but old-fashioned supper clubs are going away time and time again, you know. So to have the old-fashioned bar, I got a pink bar yet with a deal that's been there forever, and old-fashioned cheers. People just come to enjoy that. They really do. You know, we have the relish trays, we have the cracker baskets, we have our famous onion rings. You know, we got 30-ounce New Yorks, you know, so we try to do whatever. So it's been great. It's been fantastic. You know, we started this, we're going to try to get this chapter running in Eau Claire. I don't know, what was it, 15 years ago? Something like that. Ed comes up, and we had a couple of meetings and didn't go real good. So we had one meeting down at Stella Blues upstairs. So we
thought nobody wanted to volunteer for nothing. So we said, okay, let's just elect some officers and we'll see what we can do. All right, well, they named me president, and the vice president never took over, but the other girls that are here, Joanne and Rose, and our crew up here is fantastic. So anyway, we started that. We got going. I said the first thing we got to do is probably a golf tournament. So we started the golf tournament up there. So we all been doing whatever. First year, I think we made 6,000. Next year, we made 7,000 or 8,000. And our little chapter up there is donated. We did our first endowment. We did 26,000. We've already endowed into the Education Foundation, the first one. So Susan. So Susan Corm came to me and she said, you're fully endowed. Why not? We'll start another one. So we started the new one, the Pro Start Education Foundation. I think that's the name of it. Great, correct, Susan? Oh, she's right here. Yeah, okay. I can't even hardly see you. But so we've did that, and I think we're already into 15,000. We give them 7,000 last year and do whatever. Just out of our little deal in Eau Claire. And we only charge $75 to get in. So that's what little chapters can do. Obviously 500, a lot more money to make, but we'll do it at 7,000 a time and make money and have a good time. And we get a lot of people involved, and that's what keeps us going, and that keeps us trapped up there, instated. We got people that want to join, want to be there, want to be with us, and do whatever. So, everybody just does a little bit, you can get a lot done. Our whole industry is that way, it really is. Like Trey's fantastic with his Rocky Beer Cocoas. Mentors I've got. I really got to thank my little friend Dale, who got me into here. He picked me to come in as the and Dale and Pat have been good friends of mine. The only thing wrong with Dale does to me, if I stop over to see him, we don't seem to get out of there very soon. I don't know why that is, but here Pat's bringing food out, appetizers out, and Dale brings a few cocktails around, so that's fine. And it's been great, like Ed, the first couple of years we were into this, he asked me to go to Washington, D.C. We took, I think at that time from our chapter, 7 or 8 people, maybe even a few more. It's just been something, a little person like me, well, not that way, but can really start something and make something work. If we all just do a little bit, it'll work, and that's just keep it up in this industry, and we should have more. There's a lot of people here tonight. We should have more people here than this tonight. And, we just got to go ask. When you're walking down the street, stop in a restaurant and say, you want to join? They'll join, as long as you ask them a little bit. People got to be twisted out a little bit. This is such a great restaurant. This restaurant association did so much for me. I've got so many friends. Every time I walk through someplace, it's fantastic. So I better shut up. I've been talking too much here. Well, I'll have one more drink and then Okay, I'll close this out. But we do have a golf tournament June 22nd in Karat, if anybody like to. This is great. I think I lived through this, so I might have a heart attack tonight. But I want to thank each and every one of you as friends, has helped me to go through this, helped all of us get through this, and to come and do what I started out little like this and be the chairman of the board. Holy cow. And all of it tonight, I walk in and these guys picking on me again. Now they didn't put me for the road for the restaurant tour of the year. It's amazing. And now I didn't find out. That's what kind of surprises me. Anyway, thank you all very much. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Congratulations, Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. On behalf of all our very generous sponsors, thank you and good evening.